source?
Well, it's very moving. It's very impressive. It's disturbing to hear the experiences of people from a range of countries, some of which I'm familiar with, some of which I'm sure many people would have kind of at top of mind. But I mean, what did we hear from today? Tibet, Pakistan, Taiwan, among other countries, Egypt. So the human rights situation is dire in these places for different reasons. And the group of people that are here under the Activists-in-Exile rubric, that tension between the suffering that they feel of their own dislocation and trying to connect and support the people who are still besieged or threatened in their own countries is very real. And I admire what you have done, Philip, and what the unit at U Ottawa is doing to help facilitate bringing these people together who are from all over the globe in Canada. So it's been a great education for me and very humbling to hear some of these stories, as I said, that I'm not entirely familiar with. I think the fact that some people have been threatened in Canada, I'm not totally unaware of that, but clearly there is a fear that it would appear that whether China, Pakistan, I know from working on my own film on refugee journalists, certainly opposition people from Turkey have been identified and threatened in Canada. So that's pretty disturbing, and I hope the Canadian government is aware of it and can do what can be done. So that was a bit news. And then some of the countries that I knew less about, the transition in Taiwan from a post-Second World War dictatorship to a democracy of a kind now, and the continuing influence of the, the KMT, the Kuomintang in Taiwan. That presentation by, I believe his name is Columbus Leo, was a real education. I knew a little bit about Taiwan. I didn't know that. And the fact that he, as a Canadian of Taiwan origin, was arrested, I think, twice in Taiwan, and beaten up, was shocking. I would say that there is a large number of journalists who are threatened in various countries of the world. They need to be protected and welcome to Canada to the extent that the Canadian government can do so, which I think would be far more than is currently being done. But as the film shows, we have very experienced, very accomplished, courageous journalists from various parts of the world, and when they do get to Canada, they can't find work as journalists. And their expertise is not being put to work. And it's, we need to, as a society, as a media industry, but also the Canadian government with its influence, and provincial governments as well, so Canadian governments, have to find the means to help facilitate the transition of experienced professional communicators in journalism, in other media and cultural industries, to work in those fields in Canada, because we're impoverishing our own industries. When people like Luis Horacio Nahara is a janitor, when Arzu Yildiz, one of Turkey's top legal reporters, is delivering food for a living, and Abdurrahman Matar from Syria, a very accomplished journalist and poet, is working overnight in a car parts factory. I mean, they are, I know them, I know their families, they are grateful for being safe and that their families are safe in Canada, but they desperately would like to be doing their jobs, continuing in their professions. And to date, they can't, at least not on a full-time basis.
Okay, what do you think?
Well, I think there's a great cost to Canada. It's a detriment to our society not to have these freedom advocates and these, in the case of the film, The Cost of Freedom, refugee journalists in Canada, expert journalists working. So there's a cost of freedom, and it cuts many ways. I mean, there's a cost of freedom for somebody who has to leave their country and try and renew themselves in Canada, but there's also a cost to Canadians when we don't take advantage of the skills and expertise that these people have, and for really, I think, illegitimate reasons, say, okay, you're here, now you'll be a janitor. Be grateful. I don't think that's good enough.